what's up everybody? This is my review of Bliss, the Amazon original starring Salma Hayek and Owen Wilson. It's written and directed by Mike Cahill, and the story overall is honestly, it's a complete trip. It follows Greg, played by Owen Wilson, who after a divorce and being fired, randomly meets Isabel, played by Salma Hayek, who is convinced that the world that they are living in is a computer simulation that is designed to create appreciation for those that are living in the real world. So let's get into the good, the not so good, and everything in between to see if this is watch list worthy or not. Now, I've always enjoyed Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek. Their pairing here is one you wouldn't really think of at first, but that's something that kind of piqued my curiosity about it. The trailers also delivered kind of a Matrix-esque vibe to it that I found to be interesting, and overall, I did enjoy this movie. I liked some of the ideas and the layers of thought that it provoked, so let's get into the positives. In my opinion, the two best things this movie had going for it was its script and the lead performances from Hayek and Wilson. With the plotline here, the result was a movie that I think will keep you engaged. It will keep you questioning what is real and what isn't, and it will have you pondering thoughts as to what's going on inside of the minds of the main characters. And as the story progresses and we get these layers of information, there is a continual intrigue present while watching the movie. We meet Owen Wilson's Gary, who despite seeming like a common man, just is not quite right. There's kind of a distance present in him that kind of seems sort of detached from what's happening all around him. He then meets Salma Hayek's Isabel, and that's when the concept of the story, in my opinion, was kind of turned completely upside down. And that was something I enjoyed about this movie, because as the narrative evolves, you wonder what is real, you wonder what's actually happening inside the minds of the main characters. It routinely has you imagining what the main character is truly dealing with in their own reality. It was overall an ambitious story, and while not every nuance of it may work, the creativity and the character development delivered from it was refreshing. Because it isn't a cut and dry script with a definitive ending, it isn't filled with a ton of cliches and genre tropes. Sure, it does have a Matrix feeling to it, but it also has a lot of its own ideas and its own motivations that drive the characters forward. So for me, this was a fun movie simply for just being something different. It blends romantic drama, science fiction, and splashes of levity, all with a smooth flow, and I enjoyed the ride that it took me on. I think Owen Wilson was great. I've always been a fan of his. I think he has much more to offer than simple comedic character types, and after not seeing him in anything for a while, it was kind of fun to see him flex his acting muscles a bit. He was sincere, he really hit all the dramatic beats of the role with authenticity, and he created an appealing character who's dealing with a lot of emotional torment. And I thought Salma Hayek was a great lead as well. She was charismatic and charming, which I think were just perfect traits that were needed for this eccentric character that she plays. I mean, she's the wild card in this movie. She's the one who really knows what is happening, and she's sort of guiding Wilson to the truth, and she delivered all the heart and energy that this role needed. Now, for the drawbacks, while I enjoyed the story, I can see where it may not work for some. I can see where the blend of genres may get in the way. I mean, this is a relatively high-concept, science fiction-based plot, yet it doesn't spend too much time exploring that side of the story. The focus here really is on the dramatic layering of the characters as opposed to the world building, and it does result in some plot holes here and there. I would also say the chemistry between Wilson and Hayek was just slightly lacking as well. I mean, I liked their individual performances. I think they also had a good timing back and forth with one another, but they just didn't really quite gel for me like I would have hoped for the needs of this story. I didn't quite feel that passionate connection between them, so later on in the story, when that feeling of that bond between them is really needed to truly feel the impact of the closing, it was just a little bit thin for me. Regardless of all that, though, I think it was still a fresh, enjoyable flick that easily lured me in, so Bliss is going to get 75%. It was really good to just see Wilson back in a role that had some layering to it. Hayek was charming and enthusiastic as this spirited nomad. They both captured the duality of their characters, and the story was more than thought-provoking enough. It wasn't perfect. There were some flaws in logic, but nothing that gets in the way of this movie capturing your imagination. Now for my today's silver screen recommendations, I've selected some other mildly similar movies. First, I picked The Secret Life of Walter Mitty starring Ben Stiller. It's a fun adventure with plenty of dramatic layering to it. Next, I picked Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas from 1998. This movie is bonkers and Depp is at his eccentric best. And finally, I picked the cult classic from 2001, Donnie Darko starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.